Welcome back to another player breakdown, this time focusing on Domantas Sabonis from the Indiana Pacers. Now, the Pacers came up against the Phoenix Suns today in a pretty intriguing battle. Both very good in their respective conference, and both expect to be in the playoff hunt, that's for sure. Now, we'll start with some negatives on Domantas before finishing on some high notes looking at his positives. Now, you can see here in this first clip that he just helps a little bit too much away from Jay Crowder, and as soon as Crowder gets the ball, he's pretty wide open to knock down that three. So I get that big men can get exposed against those small ball type lineups where the perimeter is just full of shooters, but I think you just got to be a little bit smarter here, knowing the personnel and knowing the ability of a guy like Jay Crowder. He's always looking to shoot first. Then you can see here that, unfortunately, as good as Sabonis is with the ball, he over dribbles a little too much, and during this clip, I know it's difficult with pesky guards, but he's bringing the ball over the half court, and that's when you've got to be most careful about securing the ball, because the guards will really try and poke it free when they're getting back in transition defense. And so once he gets past halfway, he's ultimately a little bit sloppy with holding onto that ball, loses it, and it leads to an immediate fast break layup. So probably one thing that Sabonis would wish he took back was just securing that ball a little quicker and getting it into a guard's hand to set up the offense. Now, you can see in this clip that as good as Sabonis is going to his left and using that dominant left hand, he does force a little bit too much. You can see that Aiden can feel Sabonis wants to go left in this clip, and Sabonis knows he wants to go left as well. So it feels like this really isn't a surprise, the end result, where he forces it up and it's a miss. Look, he could have made it of a tough shot, but I feel like if Sabonis had a little spin move in that area, because he was in the perfect spot in the middle of the basket down low, that if he was able to spin and go to his right, he'd become a very difficult player to be able to contain. The last thing is the three-point shot. So it's much improved on the season for Sabonis, but today he shot 0 of 4 from 3. So as much as it does open up the court when he's knocking it down, attempting 4 is probably a little excessive. We'll head over to the positives, because there's so much to like about Sabonis' game. He was an all-star last year, and he's only grown this year. So this is where you do love to see the ball handling. So he uses it to get into a position where he's comfortable. He then works his way into Ayton and is able to do a little spin fadeaway jumper here, and that's what he's sort of most comfortable at in that particular area. So getting to a spot he wants to get to. And then here you can see the real benefit of Sabonis, and you can compare him to a guy like Adebayo, who also does this, bringing the ball up the court. So securing the rebound, not worrying about an outlet pass to a guard. He just gets straight up the court. And in this clip, you'll see Sabonis recognizes that Turner has a smaller guy on him, feeds the post and feeds Turner down low immediately, and then Turner's able to finish. So that's really smart, high IQ play from a guy like Sabonis, and again makes it all the more impressive that he's a big man. Now here you'll just see Domas just basically displaying his brute physicality, where he's able to just take Ayton down low and really force his way to a nice reverse layup there. And then on top of that, with his ball handling that I did mention before, how he was able to do it in transition, well, here you can see how dangerous he is when he can create for others in the half court. So he's posting up, immediately recognizes that he's probably not going to get a look he wants, and instead of forcing up a really bad shot, throws the ball back out to McDermott, receives the ball back from McDermott, and immediately they go into a dribble handoff where it creates enough space for a knockdown shooter like McDermott to just be able to get a pretty comfortable look at the rim, and he's able to punish the defender there. So that's something that's super difficult to defend, and Sabonis has been picking up a lot of assists from that simple play. He was actually struggling with scoring heading into halftime. He had a stat line of 4 points, 4 assists, and 11 rebounds. But the third quarter, coming out of the halftime break, he exploded. He had 20 in the quarter alone, but I've picked out just a couple of clips. There were so many to choose from that I really think is an impressive part to Sabonis' game, and that's his motor. His effort is first class. So in this first clip, you'll see him relentlessly hustling for the boards twice, and then he's able to draw the foul as a result. Then on the second one, you'll see that again, it's a dribble handoff. Oladipo tries to get to the rim and misses the shot, but of course Sabonis is following up every shot that his teammate effectively does, or a drive for the most part. And here He works hard to get the rebound, very quick second jump, and then he's able to hit the M1. One of his best attributes is that work rate, and he's able to really utilize that to get a big leg up over his primary defender. So just to sum it up, the fourth quarter was a little quiet for Domas, and Phoenix were able to get the win due to some balanced scoring. Now, Sabonis did stuff the stat sheet in the end. He had 28 points, 22 rebounds, 4 assists, but as dominant as he was, he shot 50% from the field, but normally he shoots much higher. So I think he was 12 of 24. Normally he's much more in that mid 60% range in terms of scoring. So a little bit off from him, and especially from the free throw line. He was 4 of 8 from the line today in particular, which is something he'll be pretty disappointed about. So the Pacers won't be happy that they let this one slip, but I think they can expect plenty more 2020 type games from Sabonis because he's been extremely dominant this year. So that's it for this player breakdown. Speak soon, guys.